Diversification, right? We hear that all the time in the world of investments, particularly when you're diversifying into different types of things like stocks and bonds and this type of investment, those different sectors and stuff that you go into, and just diversification. And the same thing applies to business, right? So like in my business, my agency, where I'm diversified into multiple types of clients in different industries and sectors, where if something happens, even in the economy, I might have one client or a batch of clients that are struggling a little bit, and another one might be doing really well in that environment. Kind of all balances itself, right? So that's a beautiful thing. Also from an income perspective, like we have retainers, and then we have project-based stuff, hourly stuff, a good variety that keeps us in a good place financially, which is good, right? But that can also be applied to your marketing. And that's what I'm going to talk about today and give you some examples from the trenches, but how we're applying this kind of principle. I'm kind of calling it here like multiple fronts, coming at it from different angles. And so that you're always doing something, but you're doing things in parallel or multiple parallel, right? You have multiple things going on or planned throughout the year to attract business or to keep the train moving forward, right? So right now we do something, we kind of have a baseline with our marketing. It includes what I'm doing right here, the podcast. It includes the stuff we do on social media, our daily content. If you follow us for any length of time, you're going to notice that we do that. Daily content on 4 platforms: LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, not Instagram. Okay, so maybe it's 3. I can't count today. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're doing a little bit with. We haven't figured that out yet, though. But we do that on a regular basis. We've been doing that for a couple of years. It's great. But that's our baseline, right? And then we have the podcast is an important part of this as well. So the podcast serves a couple different purposes for my agency and myself, right? So it's kind of a personal branding / business branding / hey, we got content to share / and helping our audience, teaching, inspiring people, giving our guests a platform. It does so many different things, and it's something we're probably going to continue doing for the foreseeable future. I've been doing that for a couple of years, but it's been an amazing thing. Just to give you an example, I just recently had a guest on, and after the show, we're talking about how we can help them in their situation with a little partner, kind of a partnership / we can send you this type of business. And so that's actually a thing, right? So what you see oftentimes on the podcast, it's like, we're having a great conversation and stuff, and that can sometimes go off the conversation. We talk about doing business or, it's a networking situation. Not always, and it's not expected. I don't go into a podcast or have a guest on expecting anything at all from it. It just organically happens, and often it's not me bringing it up. So that is a thing that we're doing. So that's one thing. So we got the content outside. So we share the podcast content, clips and the full podcast, and we do graphics around that. But we also add other types of graphics, inspiring graphics, and graphics. If you're on our company pages, you're learning about things related to websites and design and development. So all that's going on continuously, right? So we got the podcast, we got that. But now, this year, we have some new initiatives. So besides the baseline that we have going on, we're introducing new things. We're trying new things. And some of these things may stick and become part of our baseline, and some of them may flop. We don't know yet. But one of those things is, if you follow what we're doing, If you've listened to me talk in recent videos, I've mentioned insurance. We're going after the insurance vertical a little bit. We're testing the waters there and seeing if we can build some insurance agency websites and help those folks in other ways. So that's something we're doing, and we're doing that. We have a direct email campaign that we are executing on this week. We've been, I haven't, my team has been doing a lot of research and collecting names and preparing for this moment. We prepared a drip campaign, and this is firing up in the last day here. It's starting up. So we got that going on. We'll see how that goes. So we're going to give that a couple months, see how that goes. We'll assess and see if there's more or better things we can do in that department. But now that I have a new person that's helping us, and we've been training them to do this particular thing. But now I can leverage that because we really could use some direct email campaigns to attract different types of guests. We have sources for guests on this podcast, but there's particular types of businesses and stuff I'd really like to target. So now I can use this person to go help us do that. So that's another thing that's happening. Then we have the paid advertising side of things. There's another part of my business, my products, which I'm going to lean probably more into to kickstart that whole situation, is to lean more into doing ads, SEO as well around those websites and what we're doing there. And that's kind of a long-term game. Paid is a little more short-term, but we're going to test the waters there, see how that does. And list building is a big part of that. But we're doing that. Now, I did pause. Pause. So, because I even though you have all these different things going, you have multiple fronts, the baseline things you're doing, the things that have worked, right? I do the podcast because it works, right? It's having a measurable impact on my business, and I get partnerships, I get just work and vice versa. We can help others too. So all that's working. The social media is working. It's a whole machine. It works. But now that's working, we're going to start adding other things, and we'll try new things. But you don't have to do it all at once. And so when we started doing the insurance and training this person to do that, I made a decision the first month or two of the year, I'm going to focus entirely on that. I felt it needed my input. I have actually somebody else in-house helping this new person as well. We're working with her and trying to train her and giving her everything she needs to become really good. I want to make sure that I'm putting as much energy into that and giving it the best chance to succeed as possible. And then once I feel like that's going and she's doing well, and she's got her pace going, and then we can start, getting help in other areas with her. Then I can feel like, okay, now that's in a good place. Now I can invest a little bit into some other things. So all of that stuff, having these different channels, different ways to market ourselves, again, it goes back to that diversification. And it's like anything you're investing in. Like when things work, you keep those things. But to find those things, you have to be testing and trying new things, having new fronts, having new ideas, and innovating and coming up with new ideas. I mean, we innovate on a regular basis, even for our content, the type of content we're doing, or the type of guests we're going after. We're always thinking about, we don't just show up every day and just post the same stuff and call it a day. We're always assessing, thinking of new ideas. We're going to try this. I have meetings with my content marketing person every week, and we kind of discuss what's going on, how are things working. This past week, she had some ideas. What were we talking about? We were talking about like what she was posting. I think we were talking about Instagram actually too. That was one of the things. Like, we're trying to figure out what to do with Instagram, and she's very determined to get that to work. I'm the boss. The guy in charge here is like, okay, if we can't see a good return on this, we don't want to spend too much time. Let's spend a little time. So I'm trying to guide that process, or we just cap it, say, here's our final graphics. She's like, wait, give me a couple more months, man. But all that stuff's happening, but it's like we're trying all these different things at all times. So it's not, I think when you think about, and I had somebody on my podcast months ago, and I think he had like 9 things that you should be doing. He'll ask you like, how many things are you doing right now? I was like, a couple. But some people are like, they just do one thing, right? You should be doing as much as possible. And it's not going to happen overnight, obviously. You build on it, kind of like what we're doing here. We've dabbled in direct email before. We're doing it again. We're revisiting it from a different angle and a different project, a different campaign and different new ideas. Because we're not going to settle into just one thing. Just do SEO. We're not just going to do paid advertising. We're not just going to do this podcast. We're going to try a variety of things. So that's the lesson today, for me. And this comes from the trenches and just what works for me. I do all the things. I show up every day. And if you see me doing things for long periods of time, it's probably because it's working. And if you see me do something for a short period of time, that test didn't work. We're on to the next. All right, take care. I hope this was helpful, interesting. Got something from it. Till next time.